Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's down in the blocks. Tom Crawford, Chris Young, Jeremy Norquist, and Mark Dotson. It's been 26 days since I had my cancer surgery. I sound a little goofy, but I want to get back with these cats because this right here is the best panel in college basketball content. I will say that right now. So I want to, first of all, say thank you so much to all the hundreds and make that thousands of people who have reached out to me in support. And I can't thank you enough. And I got this, and I got this because of all you cats, including this threesome right here, who are my brothers right now, and we're all pretty ecstatic of what happened down in Indianapolis. CY was there, the former Wolverine, took his family down. I was so thrilled, Chris, when I saw that and that photo of you. What was that experience like?
Well, we were sitting there. My son had a basketball tournament on Saturday all day, and so we're sitting there in the gym watching live streaming the game on my tablet. And as soon as Michigan beat Maryland, I looked over at my wife and said, "Yeah, okay, do it. Buy the damn tickets." And so we bought them right then. And we knew first thing yesterday morning we were getting on the road, so we had it out about 8:30. Got down there about 12:30, and it was just amazing. It was so cool to be down there for Michigan to win. Just the energy that was in the building, having my two boys with me, and them being 10-7, where they can really kind of understand what's going on and appreciate it. And it was just fun to be there. It wasn't, the result of the game was really good. It wasn't a great game to watch. I mean, there was a whole lot of standing around shooting threes and kind of sloppy play. Like you could tell it was the end of a tournament. But I mean, when we made a couple shots, when Kaysen made a couple shots to get us back within two or three, I leaned over and I elbowed my son Alex, and I was like, "Dude, we got this, right? This is the type of game we want to play. We want to play a 2-point game. Like we don't care what the situation is, but we want to have the ball with 2 minutes to go, up or down 2 points, because we're going to win those games because we've had tons of practice doing that."
Yeah. Hey, Dot man, Mark Johnson. So let's go back, and we've been doing the text thread, the four of us, and I can so vividly remember last Sunday that debacle in East Lansing, and my God, I just thought the wheels had completely gone off the rail. I mean, I was really discouraged about this team, and then Dusty May has a great week of practice, and you heard it from the players. But when you look at this Michigan team optically, what jumps out to you the most? What's different from how they're playing now to what they were playing against in the latter three games of the regular season?
What jumps out to me optically initially is that they're being much more aggressive and fronting the guy. They're on defense, fronting the guy that they're defending, and denying them the ball and being in their face when they're handling the ball. Before, it was this real passive, and I think Chris, you said it perfectly when you said pre-switching. Mm-hmm. They were just pre-switching everything. And just and laying off their guy and just pointing to, okay, now go get this guy.
They've been doing that all year. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was very little of that. Very little of that this time. If they were switching, it was because there was a pick that dislodged the defender, and that was a legitimate situation. So, which then that promotes the ball handler being pressured more, and a commitment towards the defender saying, "Okay, I got to check this dude, and I got to check this guy to the finish." That was definitely different. And let me tell you, and so much so that they play hardly any zone because they were playing so well in the half court defense, which is a good sign to me. That was different, and less ball dominant, dribble. Yeah. And what that, see why you would have a better idea as to exactly then what that promotes. What I thought I saw more of was more ball movement off the ball on offense instead of just standing around in the corner or on the side and waiting for somebody to make a play. Right. And that was encouraging because it seems like it opened up the floor, and Trey Trey went and saw the Wizard. Trey went and ate the spinach. Something kicked in with Trey where he said, by hook or crook, I'm going to go after these dudes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be that guy. And that, hey man, with them being as limited as they are, with no Walters, no Pippen, even though they may have limited minutes, you can't. They don't have bodies. And then Gail gets hurt too.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was props to and Ruben probably doesn't get a whole lot of mention by the casual fan, but
right.
Props to Ruben for his defense. He's tough even though he's slight. He's tough even though he might be foul prone.
Yep.
But props to him and LJ. Shoot, man.
Yeah. LJ, hey, Jeremy, LJ Kaysen, and I'm probably overstating this because I have this thing with Karis LeVert. I'm waiting for the next Karis LeVert, and I think it's LJ Kaysen, which is probably not accurate. But, I mean, talk about the impact that LJ had on that game because he brought energy that has on both sides of the ball. And how did you see that? His ingredient of helping out this Michigan team, Jeremy?
Well, LJ Kaysen, from the start of the year, he had a hell of a game against Cleveland State, if you guys remember at the beginning of the year.
I do.
And he brought energy kind of similar to what he's brought in this game. And for whatever reason, he fell out of the rotation.
It was never explained, really.
And you know what? Props to LJ Kaysen for staying locked in, even when he fell out. And, there's a lot of reasons in especially major Division I college basketball that people fall out of the rotation. Yeah. But obviously Dusty May got him back in, and he will forever, as long as he comes back next year, he will forever be in the rotation from now on. He will not fall out of the rotation. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. He's kind of like Tommy Staten was. Mark will remember this. That 75, 76 game, he emerged late in the season and really helped him out. See why? So you go to the game, you got your family, you watch all the ceremony, you probably get in the car and come home and you find out Michigan seeded 5th in the South region. And it's like, this is where I really get irritated with the Big Ten succumbing to this 3:30 tip-off as a lead-in to the Selection Sunday show. You got to be there. From a seeding standpoint, it's irrelevant. And, I mean, I thought, they should have been where Purdue was or Wisconsin was. They beat Wisconsin twice. They took 2 out of 3 out of Purdue, and they get to 5, and they got to go to Denver. Didn't that piss you off?
Yeah, so we hung out and watched them cutting down the nets and all that, and then we walked out of the stadium and walked right across the street to this little Irish pub, get a little probably St. Patrick's Day going, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden the TVs come on, they got the game going, or the selection show going, and it's all Michigan fans in there, and everybody's hooting and hollering and all excited, and all of a sudden Michigan pops up as a 5, and we're like, what the how is that even possible? And then I'm talking to everybody, and it's like, they had already decided. It didn't matter what Michigan did in that game. They could have got blown out by 20 or blow them out by 20. They were getting a 5 seed. They weren't going to give any weight to winning that championship. It had already been figured out, and that's it. And that's bullshit. Wait another half hour. The game starts at 3:30. It's done by 5:30. Have the selection show start at 7 instead of starting at 6 or 6:30. Like, give it some time. Give it some time. Like, what is the rush? What is the rush to have it done, to have that show on as soon as that game is over with?
Well, you're in this committee room and you got all these resources. Have your contingency plan. If this happens,
exactly. If X and Y happens, then Z happens. Like, it's just like I didn't understand it. And then watching all the other picks come in and all that, and it was just like, come on, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And then Michigan being in that dreaded 12-5 game, where I don't know if San Diego's got the horses to keep up with Michigan, but it's always one of those traditional games that it's just you never know.
Well, San Diego turns you up. They're not really big, Mark, but how concerned are you about UC San Diego? They have more steals than any team in the 360 teams in college basketball. That's not a good recipe for Michigan.
Well, superficially, no. I watched them play in their last game. Well, one of their game with UC Irvine or whatever, just to watch them play.
Yeah.
And they don't. I don't know if y'all ever watched them. I don't know if you guys have watched any of their games. They don't. You would have thought that if they lead the league in steal or the nation in steal or whatever, that they would press, and they don't. I didn't see any pressing. I saw a lot of zone from those folks. So I don't know. I don't know where those numbers come from when it comes to the steal numbers. Yes, on the surface, that would be somewhat troubling, or it would create some angst among Michigan fans, given our propensity to turn it over. I also had picked them. I had identified them, I think, Friday as the pick as my sleeper pick in the tournament. Now that they're playing Michigan, I can't have them as my sleeper pick in the tournament. So I got to figure out what I'm gonna do there. But no, man, I watched the film, and they're not big, they're not particularly athletic. This is a game where Michigan, I would expect to win, as long as they don't get out there and go crazy, throwing up a bunch of threes, the shots they shouldn't be taking, and or turning the ball over indiscriminately. No, I'm comfortable playing that team.
You are?
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah,
if you're comfortable, Mark, I'm comfortable. Okay?
Yeah,
I'm holding you to that, right?
I'm comfortable playing that team.
Okay. Hey, Jeremy, what do you think about? I mean, someone said that the teams that play on Sunday should not have to play a Thursday game in the NCAA tournament because of that quick turnaround. I mean, they got to fly out tomorrow to Denver. That's a quick turnaround for Michigan. They got to do the shoot around on Wednesday. I mean, they play at 10 o'clock at night in Denver. I mean, how do you think it's going to be a good momentum run over in a positive way, or do you think it's too soon and Michigan might be, leg stressed?
Well, here's the problem. Michigan got screwed on the seed. They should have been a 3 seed. And that's just the damn truth. The problem is that now these boys play 3 games in a row, and now you fly to Denver, which is the Mile High City, so they're going to be gassed. And it's not a great position for Michigan, but when it comes to the NCAA tournament, no one's in a great position. The only one I saw in a great position was like Michigan State.
No shit.
I would have lost. Yeah. I would have lost in the first round. I would have been like, let me lose this game so we don't have to tax our bodies anymore.
Is that an absolute ticket, CY, to the sweeps that you're going to Atlanta for Michigan State? I mean, my God.
I don't know about absolute, because I mean anything could happen, but it couldn't get much easier than when they had it back in 2000 when they're playing, in Detroit. It's teed up for them. Everything's teed up for Michigan State.
It would be Marquette in the second game, right?
Yeah, Marquette in the second. If Marquette, whoever Marquette's playing.
Hey man,
it should be Marquette in the second game, and Marquette's talented. I've seen them play a couple times, but they don't go 10 deep like Michigan State does. They can't keep up with them, especially if Michigan State starts shooting well.
They don't. They don't. But it's gonna be a dog grind. It's gonna be you talking about literally, Jeremy. That's gonna be a don't bring your lunch and your hard hat game, because both of those teams like to be up in your face playing ball. And referees gonna have they're gonna have a nightmare trying to control.
Well, I hope for that game's sake. I hope that they get some good referees. They don't get some low level MAC referees or something like that aren't used to refereeing a physical game, and the both teams end up shooting 40 free throws.
Well, but the problem is that I watch high-level basketball. I watched Tennessee versus Florida yesterday. To me, they had the shittiest refs in the world. Every time someone went to I'm like, what the hell? That's all can't be fouls all the time. Everything can't be a foul.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. Everything it's a matter of knowing when to blow your whistle.
That's right, Steve.
That's what it is. Because there's a foul or something on every single play. It's just like with my U10 team that my 10-year-olds play on. Like, there's a foul or there's some kind of infraction on every play. When do you blow the whistle?
Hey, and can I play the race card?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
For you white guys, maybe Chris, you and Jerry, maybe I've experienced this before. I think Cheddar gets stereotyped, man. I think they look at him as the big clumsy white guy, and he can't defend
100%. Yes.
He can't defend
He
nobody.
walled up. He walled up. Remember, he walled up
Perfectly. That was right in front of me. He walled up perfectly. The guy hit him in the chest.
Yeah.
Come on, like
we need to get Trump or somebody on that and tell him, hey, look, man, you need to handle this. You need to handle this. Because I think they're stereotyping. I think they're stereotyping this dude. Just because he's white. He can't get close.
A white guy in the court, pretty much. Well, no, yeah, Danny Wolf and Vlad. But I mean, you're right.
Hey, man, he can't. They're looking at him like, I know you ain't playing good defensive. Foul. I know you ain't really defending nobody with your body. Foul. Yeah. Now, if he played for Izzo, he'd be able to get away with that kind of stuff. That's a different story altogether.
Yeah.
Why is that, Mark? Answer that question.
Because they set the tone physically. They set the tone. So when they expect, the referees come then because they come to expect there's going to be a certain amount of physicality that they're going to have to allow. Otherwise, Izzo is going to be in their ear all freaking game. So props to Izzo for being able to set it up that way.
Speaking of that, though, the one thing is I want to give Tom Izzo a little props this year. He's like the little Napoleon on the sideline, right? Like just starting at the beginning of the game. If you notice this year, he is so much more calm on the sideline than in past years. C and I would always watch that. We'd be like, this dude is losing his mind on the sideline for like the last 5 years. This year, he is, I mean, he's still in that ass, but he's like at least, you know.
I mean, Tommy, I love Tommy. He bitches about every effing call.
Yeah.
Every effing call, he's in somebody's face.
It ain't just the call; it's his players too. Every time every time they come off the court, there's a moratorium on something. He's got to be chirping about something. When they can come off the court and not get cussed out, then they come used to that. I want to transition a little bit. Speaking of Cheddar, I ask you guys, do you think the move to Cheddar, Wolf, Golden was out of necessity or was strategic?
Strategic.
Necessity. I think it was necessity with Roddy Gale going down, and I think they didn't have a choice. They had
with the hamstring. That's right.
Yeah, they had to try something. Nothing else was working. All the different combos weren't supposed to. So,
I mean, and if Will hits that three, I mean, he finally hit that one. That shot he had on the wing, going left to right, was the biggest shot of the game because it was not falling for Michigan, and he hit that three, and boom.
I asked you another question then. Jeremy, you want to chime in on that one?
Yeah, I do, because I think actually, I'm not saying anything poor about Roddy Gale, but I would rather have, when you have Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf in the game, you got to have a guy that can at least shoot it on the three. And Roddy Gale has proven himself one of the poorest shooters in the nation.
Yeah.
And so I'd much rather have Will Cheddar shooting the three, at least offensively. Now, like, I don't know about like defensively as far as if they're calling everything like, whatever. But I think that Will Cheddar does have a propensity to put his hand in the cookie jar. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. Yeah, and that's the only thing I'd say, keep the damn hands up. Like, let's go. Like, play. He's 6'9". Let's go. Like play. So
yeah, but I was talking.
Anyways, go ahead.
I was at the game yesterday, and they're like, "Why is Cheddar? And I said, "Okay, he's only got 3 points right now, but he's in the middle of every defensive play, and he had 7 rebounds at that point."
Yeah,
like doing other things to justify himself being out there.
Yeah. And they got away with it, which was. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to slot that into the Dusty great coaching move category.
Yep.
Because it's easy to do that right now because everything's feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
See why, and maybe Jeremy to a certain extent. I thought the first half play suggested that these dudes were mentally and or physically fatigued. At what point? For a guy that used to play basketball all day, when I was young, and sometimes twice a day when I was young, how much is fatigue an issue with these current basketball players? A legitimate issue.
See, go ahead.
It's more mental fatigue than it is physical fatigue.
Okay. All right.
You know, like you saw that with Tanjay. You know, he freaking blazed the game before. Like he had 32 points or 31 points or whatever it was, and he was 1 for 14 against Michigan. It's the mental drag of playing that many games back to back to back.
Yeah.
The physical, I mean, these kids are 20, 22 years old. Like they can bounce back from the physical stuff fast. If any of us tried it, we'd be on a stretcher. You know.
Okay, guys. Before we go any further, I want to. When the brackets came out yesterday, 6 o'clock, should have been 7 o'clock. I see what I said. I want to have each of you kind of give me what your thoughts are in terms of what's going to happen in the NCAA tournament, maybe some Final Four, maybe cutting down the Nets team, and then also how far do you think Michigan will go? CY, we'll start with you.
I mean, Michigan's one of those teams where if they play the way they played yesterday and they play the way they played against Maryland, like they can go to the Elite Eight. They could possibly go to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Or they could lose on Thursday night at 10 o'clock. Like they're one of those teams.
Yeah.
Oh, I say the same thing about Michigan State. I think if Michigan State makes a couple shots and their shooters are starting to make some shots, man, like that could be a Final Four team.
Yeah. But, so who do you think is gonna, if you're gonna say, I mean, we just show a chalk here with Florida and Duke and Auburn and Houston. I mean, is it going to be one of those four? Florida.
I mean, those teams are so good. You know, it's a matter of how good Cooper Flagg's ankle truly is come this weekend and next weekend. You know, so that's going to be a big decider for Duke. But I mean, that Houston team is really, really freaking good. So I haven't sat down and done a bracket yet. But I mean, I'd be hard pressed to not put one of those teams as a champion.
Well, okay, so you're just throwing out a winner right now. Well, we're gonna do another podcast on Friday if everything works for y'all. But just before the brackets, you know, before we have to turn them all in, give me your national champion.
Florida. I think Florida is talented enough and tested enough to be considered a favorite to win it. I tell you though, man, that Duke team is good.
Hey, but it's all a matter of Cooper Flagg's ankle. If they got Cooper Flag, like they are good enough to win it all.
They're a great team in a shitty league. But Jeremy, how about you?
Oh, I'm glad you came to me. I love this. Okay. Now, Michigan is Final Four good. Michigan State is Final Four good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now they got to play each other.
Oh, you gonna throw Maryland in there too?
No, Maryland shit.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
Michigan to me skates the first day. Texas A&M, I think only I've watched Texas A&M. They got this little cat number 4 that can go. I think that Michigan makes it to the Sweet 16, and then you never know. I think Michigan State, like I said, is Final Four good. The winner to me comes out of the Duke-Alabama game. That's the winner of the national title right there, the Duke-Alabama. And it all it's a precedent of how good. If Cooper Flag is healthy, he a problem.
Okay. So Chris, are you going to go with the Cougars or Houston, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, I got Houston. I think they're good enough to win the whole thing. They got too many athletes, too many shooters. Like they're really, really tough.
Okay, guys. Hey, man, it is so awesome to be back with you guys. And the tournament, my favorite sporting event in the history of the world, is coming up. So we'll go at it on Friday after the Michigan. We'll oversee the Michigan game and preview Michigan State, and we'll run through the March Madness. And I'm so glad to be back with you guys.
Good to have you back, Tommy.
While I got you, Tom, I want to ask the panel.
Okay.
Give me some sleepers. I got to fill out my bracket. Who you got a
sleeper?
Give me some sleepers.
How about the Akron Zips? That's the chic. That's the chic one.
Was it Grand Canyon last year?
Grand Canyon. Yeah, Grand Canyon is playing.
They're playing good. You're playing somebody tough.
I don't know any sleepers, but I heard Montana might surprise people.
The
4-13?
Grizzlies. That's
I
why
don't
they're
even know who
playing
they play.
Wisconsin. They're playing Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold on. Okay, is
We're
Wisconsin
looking for-
going? Is Wisconsin? Look,
Yeah.
My thoughts of Michigan are largely based on the fact that I think they beat good teams, and that then says something about Michigan. I think Purdue is good. I think Wisconsin is good, and I think Maryland is good. And it wasn't like they were getting torched or anything like Michigan. Michigan was really competitive with those teams, and by extension, I'm thinking that Michigan, therefore, is playing quality ball right now. I wish I could speak more to what has changed, because the 3 weeks prior to that, they looked like trash.
Yeah.
That was a mental thing. They're not worried about just going out and having fun. And those 2 practices we heard about that were just top practices the whole year. And I don't know. I think Dusty did a terrific job. I'm glad he's our coach.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's a light switch thing, though, man. There's something else going on there.
Yeah.
You just can't change your stripes in 3 or 4 days of practice.
That's true.
I don't know about. Hey, man, and all right, last question.
Yeah.
Is Vlad a pro?
Yeah. He's got to get a little tougher. He's got a whole lot of ball. I think he's a pro.
What are you talking, NBA pro?
Yeah.
No.
A pro.
Nope.
He'll get a cup of coffee in the NBA and spend a lot of time overseas and make a
He'll
whole lot of money.
go overseas, and Danny might stay longer in the NBA.
Danny's an NBA guy.
Hey, man, he from where he was at the beginning of the year to where he is now, where he just gets the ball and says, bucket. It's going in.
He starts sliding. He goes downhill. Michigan's going way downhill quicker, more aggressively than they've been in a long time. So,
and if you notice, Danny Wolf has the ball a lot now, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
That's your dude. Hey, man, you must be kicking in some NIL money.
Just don't turn the damn
NIL
ball.
money with Danny.
Michigan gets single-digit turnovers. They're going to go a long.
Yeah, they could beat anybody if they do that, for sure.
They're scary. If they get single-digit turnovers, they are scary.
They're going to be in San Antonio if they go single-digit turnovers.
I think I heard a commentator say it in the Maryland game, and maybe you guys can confirm this, but it seemed like one of the commentators said that they talked to Dusty May, or they heard Dusty May say, "Hey, look, guys, we take care of the ball. We can score every time down court." Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, you did.
That was supposedly Dusty being quoted.
Yeah.
And if it really did feel that way,
No, it is. You can't be sloppy, and God forbid that it comes back into the 18 to 20 turnovers on Thursday night. I think it will be. All right, guys, great job.
One more thing.
Yeah,
I got a jet, man. I don't have time. I got to go get my kids,
you
man.
got to answer this one particularly, because you got big
then
feet.
one more quick one.
One more quick.
What's up with these dudes stepping out of bounds so much?
Not paying attention. It's just not paying attention. Stepping on the 3-point line, stepping on the out of bounds. You're just not paying attention.
Yeah.
It's not spatial awareness, man. Just not getting it.
All right.
Hail. Great job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Talk to you on Friday.
All right.